this some questions for you, but I do not have a lot, so I have to improvise on the way. So
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, in case there are any viewers, so hi, I am Mohit, and I'm just I've recently done my master's degree and I'll graduate soon. And after that, the life after that, I do not know yet. So you will come to know if anyone watches it. And I'm talking with
Yeah.
Khurshid, and he we studied together in SIT. This is the university in Switzerland where we studied in from 2020 2022. And in the middle of our course, Khurshid got an admission to NUS, National University of Singapore, and then he moved somewhere during September or August 2021.
It was October, late September, October, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, to be fair, after that I do not know after what you did after moving to Singapore. I do not have a good idea, so I will ask you to continue from here.
First I tried to go to Singapore, and that was COVID times, and then basically there was like a set of rules in the proposal to go to Singapore during COVID time, and I basically sort of skipped the steps. Because I was not allowed to go to Singapore, so I went to Uzbekistan. So what happened is literally they didn't allow me to go to Singapore. They didn't give back my passport to me, and they gave the flight attendant, and then they sent me back to Switzerland, not to Uzbekistan. So what happened is basically, I mean, they have direct flight to Switzerland, right? We needed to go to Istanbul, Turkey first, and then from there to Zurich. What happened is that I asked the flight attendant, hey, I'm Uzbek citizen, give me, I want to go back my own, I want to go back home. And then, so after like 20 minutes of time, convincing, I got my passport back. From there, I basically went to Uzbekistan, and then I followed the step for like 2 months, and then I basically reached Singapore late November, so to say, the end of first semester. It is literally, I went to Singapore and immediately exams started that week, basically. So I had to stay in a hotel for 10 days, and then 10 days, during these 10 days I attended exams. So that was kind of fun. And then what happened is basically, that was the end of the first semester. I attended 2 more semesters. I enjoyed a lot. I audited some courses that I really liked, such as bioinformatics, second methods in math development, field presentation, learning math, algorithms, and then I started cycling, and then doing sports, and then what happens basically, I'm sorry for background things, and then basically started searching for jobs, and that was a failure because I had a weak passport, so no one wants to kind of give me these relocation benefits, and for that reason I just came back to Pakistan, started searching for jobs here, and then using my networks, friends, I basically got into a IT company, and that's a remote job. So now I'm working for an IT company that's a remote job, and and at the same time teaching. After I basically attended a university, I gave lectures on machine learning, and then after the end of semester, I basically quit university and then started doing some startups in my free time. That's basically kind of the summary of what I'm doing so far.
Okay, that's actually interesting, because like when I saw your LinkedIn, I remember there was this company called Sarmo Labs, which you co-founded with your friend from NUS. So can you tell me more about that, like what you guys are doing?
Labs is basically a startup studio where there's a startup because not mature, right? And then there are not enough that are not enough ecosystem players, and then we need some ecosystem player that comes before incubators. Incubators are about some a little bit mature startups that are like almost revenue stage, right? And such basically countries such methods require some ecosystem plan that help early startups till the new stage. Is a such startup where it basically joins startups as a co-founder, shares resources, shares expertise, and then after reaching the stage, after getting the investments, we close the startups, so to say. So and then and I will study at Yale and US School, with some economics and politics. He knows lots of startups. He had basically one venture basically firm to basically get started in this market. So he's quite experienced, talks to lots of Central Asian and other startups. So basically lots of good stories, and then strategies for becoming a good startup. And I have some good network of engineers. I have my own expertise. So we basically help startups to sell their own product. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a lot of things you said. So most of the things, to be fair, like I did not fully grasp, but it's like a startup where you kind of fund other startups, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that sounds interesting, and and you also said that it's not very the startup ecosystem is not so mature in Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of helping it become a bit more mature, something like that.
Exactly. It's kind of like an opportunity, not a philanthropic job. In a sense, of becoming a good startup low compared to worldwide markets. So it's easy to kind of get investments, right? Because there are lots of free money.
Yeah.
And then these markets are free, but it requires certain set of skills that not many people in Uzbekistan. So we basically bring these skills, we combine these skills, we share these skills with co-founders of startups, so that their startups reach this investment and revenue stage, then we will be ready to quit and go on with other startups.
Okay, now I got a little better idea of what you are doing. So, I mean, like, is there anything new you are learning at this with this role?
Learning stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the way I think is basically, I mean, since I'm a mathematician and then did ML, I think about this in ML, like this is the hammer I have. Everything looks like me. So, start like a finding job, optimization job, right? So you optimize your solution to the, so to say, clients. You try to find the product fit between your product and fit between the product and the clients that are going to pay. So it's like a job, right? You need to search for the fit. So, and then this search itself not only comes as changing your own product, you also need to kind of change the notion of customer, the archetype of the customer. So you don't keep one thing fixed and change the other thing. You have the other thing be changing as your so to say market fit, so to say concept change, right? So you not only change the product, you also change the customer archetype and try to kind of play both things and eventually find the fit. So me as an engineer, I'm good at changing the product, right? I can change the product, tweak it, make it better, solve the issues. But the other side where we try to find the right customers is also not easy. It's also kind of an engineering, customer engineering part where we need to go to customers, talk to them, show demo, and brainstorm with them. Actually getting the feedback from the customer part is kind of an interesting and not an easy job, and I'm kind of learning these parts where I'm proper engineering with coding and mathematics. I'm just talking to customers, finding their problems and trying to solve the difficulty of the features, for example, and also the opportunities. It's what we learned in this essay. If you remember Mark Weber's a course where we product market fit. We have to play book, if you remember.
Yeah, I think, is it that one where the canvas thing or something like that? Or
So it's close to canvas. You basically iterate the canvas until you find the product, right?
yeah.
So some of the product courses we had at SIT are being really helpful now. Yeah.
Okay, so you are in that environment where the course is very directly relevant to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like in my case, like when people ask me about the university and I tell them that the degree is not not accredited, and they get scared, and then they usually do not, then they think about going for other options. But like in our degree, like you need to have basically some amount of risk appetite, I would say, to forego the advantage of the accreditation and still make the best out of it. So
Yes.
uh,
Our program gives lots of opportunities, right? So, and different people basically realize different opportunities differently. I went to another university, right? It's like one opportunity, and then stayed in Switzerland, found jobs. Some of them found jobs in Netherlands and across Europe. People are doing great, actually. I guess all our graduates are doing great, so why not?
yeah, true. I mean, like, and like we had a very very diverse batch, to be fair, honest. Like lots of people from different countries and different occupations and stuff. So I mean, it's So yeah, I'm actually getting lost. This was not the direction I wanted to take. But like, what would you advise someone who wants to join SIT, especially if they're concerned about anything? So
SIT, I don't know. I mean, I want to be active, proactive, in a sense, reaching out people, and also, for example, if they're doing group projects, they need to be the ones who are taking initiatives, maybe defining the goal, like others, right? Also, they need to be proactive with respect to professionals, like asking for opportunities, maybe asking for more knowledge. I want them to be more curious about what they're learning, and then accept what they're learning. I mean, accept what they have. Instead of judging if this thing is really necessary for them or not, they just go and learn. Second opportunity, because everything I learned from SIT is coming back to me. It's like I must have learned all of this stuff. I might have been missing. I might be not learning some of them, and then I actually regret not knowing them. So a little bit of more curiosity, a little bit of more, so to say, to the things would actually be really helpful with the SIT. If
that makes sense again, because like in some normal university you will get something if you're lazy, but here like to get over the disadvantage that like official or bodies do not know a degree, you need to go the extra mile to actually do great with it. And this also thinks me about the question, like you get to see a lot of theory, like you are getting access to a lot of theory in our courses, and then you require to actually apply to to become more relevant to what you are doing. Like your role is like have also on the technical side, where I'm not sure, like where you are doing programming and software design and stuff, then you're also talking to the customers, finding their requirements or their needs. So I mean, how do you start applying? Because it's kind of my weakness. Like I've noticed that I'm good at studying things, but when I try to apply, then things do not then I am not able to do. So it's not an advice for me, but people who are like this.
So I guess before actually applying things, one needs to take certain steps, right? So I can apply the things on my own. One needs startups because what they want is, for example, operational research or like algorithms. This kind of stuff are really useful inside like a big companies, like like Google, maybe companies that have like 50 and work employees. So I guess one thing to do is basically getting these jobs, maybe joining bigger teams, or maybe even joining bigger projects, and then try to apply what you're doing, what you know, right? So this is how it went for me. So Optify is an organization I am a part of. In as an operations research company where we basically skill so let's say exclusive, right, for problems. It's basically a scheduling for deadlines, and then there are lots of algorithms, mathematical modeling, and then we basically really try to solve certain problems. And then it's actually really easy for us because certain people established all these frameworks and the processes so that we can just join and then do. It's not end-to-end mathematical modeling. It's actually like a huge team, but they have no expertise, and then they know what to give you and what to take from you. So it's going to join bigger teams and bigger companies. So I guess that makes sense.
Yes, for some. Did you mention this company is LinkedIn as well? Because I might have missed it.
Yes.
Okay, so I have missed it, unfortunately. So.
Optify is there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I know something about operations research, like the history of operations research, like it was used in Second World War to determine the optimum places for setting of anti-aircraft guns or something like that. There was a mathematician who did this, and rest I do not know much about it. Like in my bachelor's, the students in the mechanical department, they had this course and they did not like it. But that's pretty much my exposure to operations research. And yeah, what else? I mean, yeah. So unfortunately, there's a lack of research on my part here. I should not have missed this.
The operations research is like one of these university modules where lots of students hate because it integrates lots of like mathematical programming, like solving problems, maybe coding together and all that. So operations research basically tries to solve all these computational interactable problems, problems, so to say, right? So tractable problems, but it is at the point at the point of certain accuracy, they basically makes like faster solutions. So for approximations or solving bigger problems with approximate algorithms and optimizing whatever solution you have. Like you execute a big so to say search or search algorithm in a big search space. It usually contains simple steps like all search algorithms such as human search, beam search, or other custom then linear programming, integer programming, block programming, maybe nonlinear programming, and so on.
Okay. And like so since you are doing multiple roles and you're also doing that while you are studying in Switzerland, so like I think this was the gold standard, like either people had 2 jobs or 1 master's or 1 job and 2 masters. So when they were studying in SIT, most people were like that except me and the guy from Croatia and just few people. So in this case, how do you schedule your time across multiple things you do, and does the sandboxing of your time, does that work for you? Because like for me, the time which I set and the actual time I do, there is a huge difference. Usually the actual time I take to do something is a bit more. So how does time management work for you across multiple roles?
Okay, once I tried to push this actually, so once I basically got involved into many things at the same time. So I gave back to the university, and I was part of Taiwan. I was doing so to say operations research. It was really hard, so I left no time, and then I finished one thing and immediately commuted to somewhere else to do my other thing and so on. So how it worked, it basically put me in danger of like stress, like depression. First of all, I got stressed out, and then it affected my mood, maybe eventually even health. So I started cooking certain things. So what's happening is that since I've been doing this for a long time, like till 2019, so for 5 years, I'm always studying and doing a job. I kind of get used to it, and at certain places I try to push my limits. So and to understand what can I do, what I can do, right? It's so I know my limits. And now I'm kind of doing two stuff at the same time. And I don't know if like part-time, not full-time. So I know, I mean, if I can full-time, but I don't do it because it's going to affect my health. So, usually I cut meetings. I don't do meetings unless they're too necessary. I don't spend much time on social media, and then I spend my time in as so to say high quality manner as possible. But yeah, I don't have like strict rules. Like my job is pretty kind of free. I just need to work 5 hours in my work days, and it's not limited from it's not like limited to one time window. I can start in the morning, take some rest, and then continue later, or skip and come during weekend and so on. So I just need to do the job. So planning like helps. So planning certain things a week it helps. Rules. I guess I don't pay attention. So but I try to be as performant as possible. So when I start something, I basically try to understand it well, do it quickly, do it well, instead of spending too much time. Yeah.
So this reminds, now I finally get to Thomas Marin, because if you remember, like I like that means I was kind of used to talk about him a lot, and just I remember then, like this is usually like we have the big five thing, right? The OC thing.
Yeah.
So did you score very high on conscientiousness? Just what was your score? If that's something you can share, I do not know your boundaries, but yeah.
I just I scored high, like 4.2 over 5. It was not too high, but it was not too low. It's like 80% or something like that.
Okay, yeah, because generally it's associated with that, but then again, like I think correlation is not causation, means I just wanted to know, like for me, like my score was I think very low, I think 0.4 or something.
Oh wow.
But I mean, yeah, so anything new you learned from psychology world? Because I have some interest there, and you also had, I guess.
No, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. So I remember some leadership lectures, right? In this particular course, the organization behavior, I guess it was named. They've marked me as a leader and also like course style leader. So it's if I become a leader, I become a leader that educates, that teaches. I also that and started giving lectures and started teaching. So and then apparently I'm good at teaching. I'm good at kind of guiding people. So I noticed that, and I'm using that, kind of exploiting that. So currently, what happening is there are some people who are kind of becoming learning from me, and then I'm also enjoying that. So this is so. And this is somehow related to my curiosity. General curiosity. I just I'm curious about lots of stuff. I go ahead and learn these things, and then when you satisfy your curiosity, you become happy, right? So you have some happiness, excess happiness that you want to share, and then sharing of that happiness is basically teaching for me. So I can learn stuff and then teach it, and then this becomes kind of more thanks to universe. So I get knowledge from universe and share it with others. So this is what I learned. Psychology, I don't know.
I mean,
How to tell?
yeah, I mean, I think I became too specific with the word psychology because no, I do not know. I do not have any reason for being that, but I kind of get you. Like, it's a way to satisfy your curiosity, and that kind of gives you happiness, and then you share with other people. So that's like means that's what kind of keeps you going, right?
Yeah. If I can add one more thing, that would be I got better at knowing people in a sense, not like fully deeply. For example, once I identify if a certain person is Machiavellian or narcissistic, I easily notice exploitation, and then if I notice that if certain person is exploiting, also late sometimes, or I notice if certain people exploiting other people, in experience of different people working with different teams and groups and so on. So yeah.
So yeah, that again makes sense. So I noticed that I'm using lots of fillers, like saying that makes sense, that makes sense. I will try to keep that in control in next podcast. But
Yeah.
how was your childhood like? Like, did you meet new people, and were you very involved in sports, or you are involved in maths? I know, but in general.
Oh, my childhood. At the moment, I don't remember much of it, partly because not really interested. There were some major things. Some major things where I learned computer games. So there was a time when I was like third, fourth grade where I kind of got into computers. And at the same time, I was involved in chess. Right? I was going to this chess club, playing chess competition. I was not really good, but I was okay. Not okay, not but not the worst. And then there were times where basically I go to chess club, but it's half chess club, half gaming, and then there were times I needed to earn money, and then I basically earned certain money by doing some like jobs, this minimal jobs. Even though I was like little, I was like really little, like maybe 5th grade or 6th grade, and then I earned some money, and then all the time I spent that money for playing games at some point, and then my parents wanted that, and then after that I basically joined boxing club, second stage, next stage, I started boxing, 1 or 2 year boxing, and I guess at the same time of boxing I was doing, like 6th, 7th grade, I was doing karate, so I basically joined one karate shop, where I basically helped them use karate, right? It's like a profession. My parents asked me, it's like at the beginning of summer, I guess 6th grade, they asked me, go learn something so that you need to make a earning later in your life. And then I just joined this karate shop, and then both karate shop and boxing because I got ill in some video. So 6th grade or 7th grade. Then I was sick, big, really coughing, and then I was like a cold. I caught cold and so on. So that made me like take some rest from both things. And then after I recovered, I went back to school where I discovered math. This is basically how I got into math. My math teacher was really great. She was teaching really interesting stuff. I got like a journal of math. I learned that I was enjoying solving problems. there was an Olympiad. I sucked. I couldn't solve any problem, but I brought the problem back to my home, where my family basically showed the solutions of these problems. I really loved it. And then this is 7th grade Olympiad, and then yeah, I started basically preparing for the Olympiads. I participated in several like regional Olympiads, participated successfully, and then this is then I did Olympiads till my undergrads, right? So yeah, I don't say it was really fun or interesting childhood, but it was okay. There were obviously problems in a sense, it's like a different. It's not city lives or it's not urban life. It's like a rural area. They need to kind of take care of animals. So we have some household animals. We go and then make them, for example, right? So they need green, and then we need to take them to green places, or we need to take care of children, or help with house construction, like some home and stuff. But I guess in terms of labor, it was hard for us because from childhood we need to do hard stuff. At the same time, I remember certain kind of events, occasions where I really struggled as a child, like not really understood as a child, because everyone around me were not really in terms of taking care of us. But it was not serious, so to say. It was something that came all the time. So I guess it was a pretty boring childhood, not really interesting, not really bad. So
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I find that, like, from my perspective, like, I was quite surprised to know some new things. Like, I had no idea about your time when you spent did boxing, or you were doing the car repair thing, and all those things I never knew, even though, like, we were physically present for around 3 to 4 months in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So that was something new,
Yeah.
and from my perspective, it looks interesting. I'm on the very high end of interesting, actually. So,
Yeah.
like, what I was trying to do is, like, I was trying to relate. You said that you are good at identifying people, especially the dark triads of people. And I was trying to identify if you got to know enough people when you were as a child, which I think it's yes, because you mentioned a lot of stuff which requires you to understand, which will help you understand people better.
So since Uzbekistan is not really Uzbekistan is a third world country, right? It's just the so to say, that's still not quite there yet. And then actually we're not really rich, we're not really poor, and then it's a more society where people kind of do trust each other. They trust each other, but not as much as in like Europe, right? There is a huge difference. And I can know it from my own experience. When people trust each other, that's wonderful. They not only trust each other, they trust themselves, they trust their own future, they trust the future of other, and so on. So when low trust happens, you also see a lot of people manipulating each other because they don't trust each other. And then, so I'm quite good at understanding manipulation because I'm from here, right? Understanding naive manipulation at least. So that would help me with understanding what's exploitation and what's manipulation, maybe in slightly better terms, because I see manipulation and exploitation in this business world too. So this is somehow lost.
Yeah, so this is something similar between the Indian and the Uzbek society of the low trust culture. And
yeah.
I've noticed that does not exist as much in Europe, even though, like, I would say the populists are kind of trying to spread fear here in Europe. But in general, it's a much the trust is on much higher end. Like, I would say, like, I was in Iceland for a few days, and I remember that there was a news article for only one murder that was committed few years ago. So it's like
Wow.
it's incredibly safe. It will be like, I think, like something like Singapore, I guess. So yeah, I mean, because for me, I've learned some lessons in Europe, and when I go back to India, those lessons won't really help me, because then I have to, means whenever I have to think outside of my immediate family, I'll have to kind of become more like develop an intuition about how people manipulate each other. So
Yeah.
in this aspect, like, I am starting to get some idea about by reading books. So which books would you recommend to read in this case?
Um, in terms of psychology, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if I even explicitly use that, but I this game people play, right? But I don't know myself explicitly kind of using that or referring to that knowledge. I guess also cognitive biases, understanding cognitive biases kind of helps, like at some point, understanding confirmation bias or these and everything. This is one of the things we learned at SIT, and one thing we learned at Design Society is that they can just go ahead and learn Kahneman books.
Yeah, I'm reading Kahneman book at this point. The most famous one about the two systems of thinking fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good introduction. That basically gives most of the, like skill. It's not going to give the high-end advanced skill about people reading, but it's going to be a useful skill like I implement in the world, I guess. This is what I would recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would also add, like, just reading is not really going to help people. So, like, sometimes means there should also be a way to actually apply, because it's going to like change inside. Like, when you do the same thing, then you develop an intuition about what's going on and stuff. And yeah, that's system 1 and system 2 things. Okay, I'll not go there because I am just beginning to read it, so I'll have to spend more time to actually comment about it. But I felt like it's a good book for introducing the world to his research. That Daniel or Kahneman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, I had some comment and which I forgot actually. So yeah, so for me, like, like, I noticed something about learning things by doing is actually by cooking, because like, I mean, I still feel very shy about cooking. For like, when I try to cook and someone comes into my place, because nowadays I usually watch YouTube videos to start and try to cook. And good thing is, usually when I cook in Germany, it's usually better than the food I order. And the bad thing is, I mean, this also means that the German food is shit at my place. But the other thing is, I do not cook that often, so like once in a week or something, so that's bad. So it's gave me a lesson that just by, you are not going to learn many things just by reading books. Sometimes you actually need to do it. So
what's even more interesting, not doing, but also gamifying would also help. Like, actually, games are the best ways of learning stuff. So it's one thing to practice, it's another thing. But if you gamify it, you're going to learn it even faster.
yeah, I mean, I can see, because gamifying is the kind of using the lessons from behaviorism, like positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement and stuff. So it helps you do gamification. I think it helps you using positive reinforcement to harnessing its power to accomplish something, I guess.
Yeah.
And like gaming, man, like involved in competitions, I realized that it plays a big part in like mental development of a person, I guess. Or what do you think?
So the question is like competition is like a crucial for mental development of
Yes,
a
yes,
person.
something
Is
like
that
that.
correct? Yes. I mean, but I'm kind of biased because competitions are like a big part of my life, right? Big part of my development. I did like math competitions and then computing, and so and since I'm coming from this, like a style where like boys don't need to cry, boys need to be like men, they need to be they need to be better than others, they need to be better than the some of the your mom and so on, like some of your aunts. So right, competition is there, and actually, I don't know. It's like an interesting topic. But I remember, I've been blamed or I've been, criticized for being over competitive when I was in high school, like math. So we had math as a club, and then we had math Olympiads, and then I remember one girl criticizing me for being too over competitive. As far as I was sharing material, maybe because in my behavior, in a sense, maybe said words, but yeah, they kind of from outside noted that I was all competitive. But at the same time, I understand that I was not competing competing with others. I was, trying to become a better version of myself, and maybe at the same time, maybe too bad, like too individualistic in a sense. So, but I mean, competition gives rewards if you're good at it, and then when you compete and when you win, you get reward, then try to become better. So what you're saying is, if you're in the high like parts of the leaderboard, you're always getting more rewards, and then that's going to be positive feedback for you. But if you're not getting the rewards from competing, then that's harmful in a sense. You're not going to get rewards. You're going to have less self-esteem and so on.
Yeah. Yes, that's also true. I did not think of that in that way, that not competing can be actually bad. No, sorry. If you do not get the rewards from a competition, that might actually even affect you negatively.
Yeah.
And on the same note, like, have you ever met some non-competitive people in your life, and did you learn anything from them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you learn compassion from people, right? Something wrong, right? She wasn't competitive. She wasn't her right? Learning compassion. They're good friends. The ones who are not competing, they're good friends. They're empathetic. They feel senior from your own position maybe. So you're competitive, you're too individualistic, maybe self-centered sometimes. If you're in a flow state, people who are not competitive can look outside, can look beyond somebody else's perspective and so on. Some people are not competitive because they're strategic. In a sense, they know the other person is part of the tribe, so to say, or it's part of the team. For that reason, they'll be sharing resources, sharing knowledge, and maybe being friendly. Because in the future, the other person might be helpful to them and so on. So, strategic, more competitive people are good to boys. More compassionate, non-competing people are great friends and great, really great, cool, warm people. So I think all the non-competitive people are great.
Okay. So yeah, and slowly I think I'm starting to run out of questions. But I would like to share why I thought about doing podcast type thing. So like I think it's around 3.5 years in Europe, and most probably I'll be leaving. Like you have noticed that I'm talking about leaving so many times in our chats and everywhere. So I was trying to because when I left Switzerland, then I was very annoyed, and I really wanted to come back to Europe. And then I came back to Europe in Germany, and I still have the feeling of going back to Switzerland. And then I thought, what's going on? Like I had some introspection. What's the difference, the objective difference between Germany and Switzerland's experiences? Because living here, there are nice things about Germany as well. Like some really nice things which you will not get in Switzerland. But the main difference was in Switzerland, I had friends. And in Germany, I also had friends, but somehow the friendship did not last long. Like I actually when I came to know that I have to do another semester of studies, then things became very difficult, and then I could not keep up with some of my friends, and I also noticed that I even ghosted one of them, which is so bad. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll apologize just today to stop the damage. And then I realized that the big difference is this: I do not know so many people in Germany. I still have one friend, but the things are very complicated with them. So, and I noticed that now when I go back to India, since things are not looking good, it will be as soon as I come to my house, things will be suddenly become very difficult, and I will not get an opportunity to meet lots of people. And the podcast was a good idea to actually start to get to know people, but at this point I'll still require to need to get in a position where I could invite any guest as I want. But I mean, it's kind of a way to repair the damage, but then that's like being in the more firefighting mode. But I would also like to grow with doing podcasts and stuff. So I mean, let's see how that goes on.
Friends are an important part of our lives and the experiences we see. I mean, sometimes are, I don't know, proven up to recover in a sense. We're all kind of down now, all over the world, and all over the Europe, we're all over the world literally. And then, yeah, we want to go ahead and make new friendship circles, and so on. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we should Mohit. We should find work, and then grow as in the directions you want. Maybe learn new stuff and meet people, talk to them.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for wishes, and I also wish you the best of luck, in your jobs, in your social life, and also on your trip to Europe, because you said that you are visiting Europe in this summer.
Funny too. I have a weak passport, and then I'm being really lazy to apply the visa. It's like a process, pain in the ass. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pain in the ass for us as well in India. Like our passports are not that respected. And I'm kind of surprised that it's lasted quite long. I thought it would not even last for 1 hour. And we are close. I do not have any more questions, so I guess we can just close it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for being the first guest in my podcast. And yeah, so then see you around.
Great, Mohit. Yeah. Taking initiatives in there, calling people for calls. It's wonderful. And then keep talk to more people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Reflections and share your opinion and keep us updated.
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll write everything in our chat.
Good.
Bye.
Have a good time, Mohit.
Yeah.
Bye bye.